So much stuff to readjust. Changing monitors. Oh, that's too low. I don't know what radio station this is, so if I change it, I don't know if I can get it back. That's why we're still on whatever this is instead of the normal lo-fi. Let me know if that music is too loud. I could turn it down more. I don't want it to be so quiet. And turn it down just a smidge. Hey, Crawdad. Thank you. I think this is also a silly, fun picture. Very enjoyable. Hey, Deebs. This music sounds like Banjo-Kazooie level. Yeah, it does. You're not wrong. I haven't played Banjo-Kazooie, and I agree with you. That it does kind of sound like that, from what little I know of it. Always appreciate a good space shark. You know, that's positive. Why wouldn't you appreciate a good space shark? It's hard to not put a H on the other word of a S word in a sentence that has an H in it, like space shark. I always want to say space shark. Or space shark, as I almost did. What's up, Honey Money? What's up, everybody who came in? Hey, Talion, thanks for the how are you all doing? How's Dishonored? I haven't played it either, but this music sure seems make me think of Banjo-Kazooie. Totally fair. I love space sharks. Hello, true Mandalorian. The unknown sequel to Street Sharks, Space Sharks. Hey, Pantslog. Banjo-Kazooie like to try and pull from other sources. How you doing, Pants? Okay. That shut itself off very quick. Not sure why it started the second raid noise for an unknown reason and then said, nah, I'm done. What's up, Billy Will? Boy, how are you doing? Electable Louise resubscribed, has been subscribed for 8 months. Thank you, Electable Louise. I greatly appreciate that outstanding support you got there. It is good to have you along. You are a delight. I'd vote for you. I don't know if I could do this music the whole stream, but it's here for now. How are you doing? While I have nothing to segue into, I'll just say, oh no, don't. There we go. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna make that flotilla that exists outside of space-time. And somewhere in this lore, I have to include the legend of Bjorn, the pirate who has his parents strapped to his chest. Because that's just, I think it was Blight that came up with that. It was just too good. Thank you. I shall get you to help with my campaign some election time. Yeah, you can. I'll give you a free sponsorship. And I'll right here. Where can I? There it is. Nope. Right past here. I'll put elect Louise. There's space for it. Did you ever read The Scar by China Melville? I have not. I've heard of China Melville, and I hear people that love Wackadoo sci-fi really sing China's I think I don't know. I don't actually know. I have no idea who the author is other than the name. That doesn't help. Their praises. I tried reading one of their books. I don't remember which one, and I couldn't get into it, and then was later told that was not the best book that was probably one of their weaker books. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I gotta try again. A flotilla outside space time. Are we writing a Doctor Who story? No, but that's a great source for this. That sort of headspace and like possibility and like, oh, I remember I wanted to kind of explore that from this episode of Doctor Who and put that into a character, and then you could have them be from this place, which is currently just called Here for now, because that's my placeholder name, and be like, ooh, do these things, it'll be cool. I'm probably moving soon, and I'm sorry, I'm very ADD, and I just got an idea of trying to figure out how my desk situation will be when I'm in an office rather than in the corner of a living room. And I was just thinking about having my table behind my monitor and maybe putting the tower on a smaller table under that, and that might help with some of the like very minor but still present noise that this thing makes, and I'd still have access to all the ports and stuff. But then it would be behind my table, so I wouldn't kick it. Sorry, you can't even see what I'm looking at because it's out here, but like, sorry, I got distracted, so I had to explain why. So yeah, like that sort of Doctor Who, God, that's one of the things I love about Doctor Who, Crawdad, is like that weird, look, we know we're sci-fi and like we're gonna really push the limits of human understanding and still break it down into digestible pieces that you can get. So I think that's great. Well, it could have giant vampires, like when Doctor Who went to E-Space. I'm sorry, E-Space? Not familiar with E-Space. Or the giant vampires. I think it's the latest episode of Adventure is Nigh. I caught a clip of it. I should have just made it a clip that I could post, where we're fighting the giant robot, and then Jack does a flashback to where Casey's picking his spells, and I say, equip jump. You need jump. If you ever have access to jump, always have it. And then cuts back to the episode, and Casey goes, oh, I have jump. I can do this to get up top. And I was like, yes. Oh, I feel so validated. So props to Jack for doing that. I read the last line as Wally, and that got real weird. Yeah, those giant Wall-E vampires. Did you don't remember that part in Wall-E? Oops, accidentally refreshed. Farewell chat. Goodbye forever. You got a little bit of it up here. E-Space, kind of like a pocket dimension. You picked up 2 companions while there. Oh, cool. I don't watch the episodes when they air. I'm busy, but B, like I watch parts of them, but I can't emotionally detach from it as like an interactive experience because I already lived through it, and watching it is like anxiety inducing because I can't change anything. But I was there, but I caught that part. I thought it was great. I'm curious how many times that's actually happened, because we've mentioned it quite a few times. You'd be like, now this is where you smash cut to where one of us said this as like a joke. I didn't know it would ever show up in a thing, so I think that's really funny. Hey Rappeach, how you doing? I was absolutely convinced that the cut back to the past would end with Casey dismissing your advice, not keeping Jump. Nice. It's like early 80s Doctor Who. Oh, okay. That's definitely why I haven't seen it. I haven't seen much pre Eccleston Doctor Who, and I haven't seen any of the current Doctor or the Doctor before, because I'm a bad person. But okay, so yeah, Doctor Who is a great resource, or like thought space to be in for this, where you have that, because I want this to be understandable. I don't want to make something that's such a out there sci-fi concept that like only 2% of people that read it will be like, oh yeah, that's cool, and everyone else is like, okay, and then moves on. Like, I want it to be bizarre and strange but relatable enough for folks to be able to actually use it. Because if it sounds cool but it doesn't spark your imagination, like, I have failed at what I was trying to do. And granted, I can't do that with everybody because everybody thinks differently. Everybody finds things that are interesting in different ways, but like, that's very important to me. I read DW, and instead of thinking, oh, Doctor Who, my brain went straight to, oh, DW Washburn, the song by the Monkees. I thought you were going to say DW as in the Arthur character. So you went in an additional place I didn't expect. Probably because I don't know what this song DW Washburn is. I know the Monkees, because they were a band that did Hey Hey We're the Monkees, and that's literally all I remember. But that wasn't Marky Mark. No, that was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch was Mark Wahlberg. So Mark Wahlberg was not in the Monkees. I have no idea what songs Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch did, and now I realize that those are two separate bands that I know nothing about. You're Not a Bad Person. The last two Doctors were really good, though. That's what I heard. I really want to watch them. DW from Arthur has a Monkees haircut. Crossover confirmed. Hey, Arthur. But yeah, so that's my goal for this. You can see I already put out some actual text. I was doing some writing. And then I also have, these are the notes of the section that I'm going through non-linear life outside linear time. And then up here, I have just my random thoughts on stuff. So, horses eat hay. Coincidence? Clearly not. There are no coincidences. That's not true. There's a lot of coincidences. So there's a few things that I wanted to... Okay, I think I need to change the station now, because I'm getting too many songs that have... and it's distracting me now. So we may never find this station again. So say goodbye, everybody. Now we're back to lo-fi. Okay, so there are a few things I wanted to goodbye, everybody, and stream. There's a few things that I wanted to immediately come across. So is this flotilla that's going somewhere, or is it just in space? So that was one of the things that I want to discuss. So the idea is that the flotilla is traveling through the tide, which is the term I have for it right now, that exists between dimensions and outside of space-time. And that the flotilla itself cannot leave the tide. That it exists in this place and it is constantly moving and constantly going somewhere. But it's not anywhere specifically like it has a destination. It is moving, but through a place that doesn't have linear time, or space, so it's not really going to a particular place. It's just existing in this nebulous realm. And that if a ship ever stops moving, or if the ship ever leaves the tide, that it will create one of the big ships that make up the flotilla. If one of those ever leave it or stop moving, that they will create a paradox because they shouldn't exist yet, is what I'm going with, and thus they will disintegrate and be removed from existence, with an unknown effect on the people who were like occupying the ship that disintegrates. So it cannot leave it. This constant mass of ships is within that area. Spaces thing. Bootstrap paradox, not familiar with that term. But that there are smaller ships that can disembark and that can go into places with actual space-time, and so they can enter a dimension that, like, you know, the campaign would take place. And the ships and their engines run on unstable energy, which is what the tide is made of. So ships that leave, the little ships that leave the flotilla and enter space-time, only have a limited time to be there before they run out of energy and then have to go back and refuel by flying through the tide again. So that's my idea for where it exists. So that way you have something that's, you know, a thing, but then can interact with the rest of the world more so freely than what we were doing with Noclid, with the Penumbrum pathway. But that this is something, if you have a small ship, yeah, you can go to another dimension, why not? Getting passage there might be an issue, but and then my idea being, this is from Cowboy Bebop, I'm fairly certain, or at least it sounds like similar to his sax riff that's in there. It's info that has no verifiable source, but in this situation, it's ships that exist, but no verifiable source of creation. Got it. So my thoughts for like visually how this would work. Oh, okay. So people use these to travel between worlds. Do people live there permanently? Yes. So my thought for the flotilla here for now is that it is here's what I wrote so far, and I have not edited this properly, so like this is probably not the best sentences, but ships. So, well, let me do the whole thing. So it says, in a place between dimensions, here for now, a massive flotilla of interlocking ships slips through the tides of uncertainty outside of relative space-time. So the ships. Here for now is a collection of thousands of ships, all of which can dislodge themselves and dock with other ships elsewhere in the mass. Ships vary in size, ranging from Asprillas that hold a few hundred living spaces and a few docks. And I'm going to give that, I don't like using few twice, so, and with 2 to 4 docks, to dim breakers that house hundreds of thousands of residents, along with full market districts and logistical buildings, and have several dozen docks. So the idea being that the flotilla is made of huge ships that people do live on. Some bigger than others. And then the idea being, I'm trying to make sure I get this right in the wording, that like you have a ship and comes into this next paragraph, but like the ships don't stay in the same configuration. So that's why they each have several docks, and they can dislodge and then go to another place in the flotilla and dock with a ship there. If they need access to something that's closer to that side of the flotilla, or because another ship left, or just whatever reason they need to, this whole thing can be reconfigured to different configurations, and that you all generally have access to multiple other ships from whatever ship you're on. And the ships have guns that fire like pew pew. Oh, that few. Oh, very cool. Thank you. So that's one of the things I'm trying to get across with this. And then there's a thing that I thought, because for world building purposes, a thing that I thought would be cool is what it means to dock with other ships, which is this next sentence. So there are a few universal laws in here for now. Each ship has their own set of laws for those on it. To further complicate things, the laws change based on what ships they're docked to, since by law they cannot refuse to join with other ships if they have an open dock. Ships with an adversarial history may have stricter laws when docked together. So the idea being, you know, the general rules are like pretty chill in the ship named the Kalamazoo. So here at the Kalamazoo, we're usually pretty lax, but when we dock with the infrared, they're a bunch of jackasses. So like we institute a curfew and stricter laws because they're a bunch of hooligans and we don't want them messing up our shit. So if anybody here's the stricter laws. But if you dock with once they depart and they go dock with the I don't know, the rigmarole, then it's like, oh well, they're cool people. Like we actually loosen it. They have laxer drug laws, so we lax our drug laws when we're by them as like a celebration, and like people are pretty chill, so whatever. Like, so there's a constant uncertainty is the only constant thing in the flotilla. So having things that are constantly changing and having to be aware of those things, I felt like that would be both interesting as like a storytelling device for, you know, having a character and being like being able to build off of that with either characters that, you know, see benefit to that or see that as a flaw, and being able to push and pull with that sort of mentality that's fairly different from, you know, what we have. That would suck if your ship was stuck in the middle and couldn't move because of others. Yeah, it would. If you get over docked and like can't move. That's a thing that's like, oh, you're docked. Like, let's say you have like a ship with like 6 docks on it, and you're docked, all the docks are taken, but then you're on a schedule to leave. You would undock from like the biggest one of those, and all the ships docked to you directly would travel with you to this other port that you're now docking into. And so, it would be, you know, or they could be like, oh, well, we don't want to go there, we'll undock and go somewhere else. So there's like a constant kind of rearranging Lego brick system happening, which is hard to explain, and I want to do a good job of that on this, but like I think that's such a neat idea. I don't want to not try and convey that, even though it's, I think, very difficult. Both the customs could make for some Please just have the rigmarole. A ship will be named the rigmarole. I won't put it in here, but somewhere. The pride of our rambling fleet, the rigmarole. They have to negotiate rules when docked with other ships. I like that. People might prepare for upcoming docks, like buy your booze and porn now. We're docking with the uptights on Tuesday. Exactly. That's like a perfect idea of what to expect, Crawdad. Like that's spot on what I was going for. You got to get those porns and booze now. I also like that you put a 0 instead of an O. So the sensor would definitely not catch it. So yeah, so that's what I want to do with the ships. So dock together. So and then here's a little more about the ships. So since the ship's engines run on unstable energy, the ships cannot leave the tide. If they did enter proper space-time or ever stopped moving, they would create a paradox and dissolve out of existence. What would happen to those aboard is unknown. So I don't know if the uptights are running to yell at us today. Let's say we'll create a paradox in. I want to. This doesn't say they create a paradox because they exist. Well, okay. Actually, I think we're going to change this. If they enter proper space-time. I don't know if the I wanted them to always be moving in the tide, but I feel like I can put that in a different spot. So I'm gonna say if they ever enter proper space-time, they would create a paradox in which they shouldn't exist yet and dissolve. What happened to those aboard the ship is unknown. Smaller crafter, how about smaller crafts, can leave the flotilla. Nope, we're gonna say can leave the tide, not the tide. Can leave the tide and enter places in space-time, though the craft's time away from its power source is limited. There's a finite number of ships, thus they are all considered invaluable. Their material and the engines that power them are presumed to be from a far future and currently cannot be replaced or replicated. And that's another thing I wanted to run with, is that I really like the idea of like living off the land in a non-natural environment. So a thing that I haven't written yet, but I really want to, is like that all of their resources are precious, and like they don't have like trash. Like you don't, like trash is taboo. You don't waste something. Like heat from the engines, like burn off from the engines is converted into heat that would power you know, hot water or stoves or whatever. Like if you take a top off a bottle, like that's usable material that has to go somewhere else. And that in a completely unnatural environment, you have the same sort of idea of using everything, every part of the animal. I wanted to tool around with that in this as well. And then let's see. These ships never leaves a tide. Some folks have their own. Oh, okay. I already have that. That's up here. There we go. What do they do for food? I'm gonna say, that's a great question, by the way. I'm gonna say that my thought being they do have to leave, that there isn't like not native food. There isn't like, you know, food in the tide. And so they have gathering parties that will go use ships to go out of the tide to gather resources. But a whole section in here is about living outside of linear time. So they could have things that produce food that they haven't gotten yet, if that makes sense, because I want it to. Like, in 10 years, you're going to go and fill this barrel, but you're not in linear time, so you actually have access to that barrel right now. But in 10 years, you're going to fill it. So like things like that can exist to help with resource management. There could be ships with giant hydroponic gardens like Silent Running. I don't know Silent Running, but yes, having, you know, an area, essentially farmlands or whatever, on a ship is something you could do, is something they would do. Again, it's not necessarily linear, but that's something you could have fun with. It's not necessarily unlinear either. You can plant a seed, have it grow, and then be like, cool, you know, I have plants now. But you can also plant a seed and nothing happens, and then in 5 years it grows. Or you plant a seed and nothing happens, but that's because actually 2 years ago someone harvested that because you planted it. Because I love messing with time. So that is a thing. So let's say nonlinear, or let's do where food. That's a note, so we can put that in there. Well, hello, Nye859. How are you doing? What's happening? We're doing some wackadoo sci-fi shenanigans, creating a interlocking collection of ships that exist outside of space-time that characters from an RPG you're playing could be from. And what would that be like? And then we're condensing it to one page because A, people want to get playing rather than reading, and 2, because I'm ADD, and that's about how much I can read with something and then be like, okay, I've lost concentration. But Twinkies transcend time and space, right? Like, they're always there. Mandalorian, I think you're onto something. It would be kind of fun if there was a type of manufactured food that did exist outside of space-time that transcends it. Cool, thank you. I think it's a really neat idea. We were making another we were making a pocket dimension a few weeks ago on RPG Help Desk, and this idea, a lot of people were throwing out some really cool ideas that we just couldn't condense into one place. So a lot of those got pulled away and then refined, and I wrote some stuff about it, and now we're going into this place, which is currently called Here for now because it's a placeholder name and we need a real name. They could also have extinct foods, maybe like dodo eggs, or future eggs like Martian strawberries, or future foods like Martian strawberries. Oh yeah, I like that. And my idea being, like, I kind of want this to be able to work in like a fantasy setting. So I don't want to go too wild with like technology and like access to that. This is more like, again, like I mentioned, like sort of living off the land, and this is the land rather than we developed this. Or maybe they could somehow harness the tide itself for energies / nourishment. Ooh, that's an idea. Ooh, I kind of like that. I don't know how they would do that, but I'm on board for this idea. Like some sort of supplement, like corn. I just popped in to say, have a platypus somewhere. Oh, man. Maybe this is where platypuses are from. Bizarre duck-billed mammals that lay eggs and have poison. Or venomous. They're venomous, right? I think they're venomous. Like hitchhikers on this. We all know platypus is God's mistake. They harness the flow of time in a microwave thing that makes random food appear, but you don't know what it is based on the type of time that came in. Oh, that's fun. You spell magnum opus. God said, what if, and then threw some stuff together. And platypus. The thing, I like platypuses, and I feel like they are, I mean, have you seen deep sea creatures though? Like those things are also just bananas. And I feel like the platypus is a surface version of that. Somebody on the flotilla just casually mentioned that their pet platypus fell off the ship, and they don't know what happened to it. Yep, that's what happened. It fell to Earth, and there it is. You may not like a platypus, what peak performance looks like. I mean, they're warm-blooded, venomous creatures that don't have to give live birth. Honestly, they've got a lot going for them. Like, yeah, we make fun of them because they look silly, but I think it's because we're jealous. I love the harnessing time idea. Maybe they can harness it and sell you some extra time so you live longer or get to relive part of your life. This is illegal because of paradoxes, but very profitable. So it still happens. Okay, let me, in my notes, I'm gonna put harness and sell time. That's actually a great idea for, because every one of these I want to have the, like, what's the, just punch my microphone, what's the current problem? Like what's something, you know, that's the place is in turmoil, like we were talking about with a Noclid, where there's a split divide on, like, should we become more reclusive and rely on the things that have saved us in the past, or do we need to stop relying on those things and accept change? And the idea that someone has discovered how to start harnessing time and selling it off that's a pretty good, it's great spell component item for the haste spell. Be like, and a dash of refined time. So I like that. I don't want that to be a bullet point. I just need that to do that. There we go. I'm on board for all this, all the weirdest creatures coming from this flotilla. Just platypuses and oxalotls and deep sea creatures. Yeah. Maybe like deep sea creatures are like floating around outside, like they're in the tide. And then when they opened a portal to leave, some of them fell out. Last book's compared the platypus and Phineas and Fib. Or Phineas and Ferb, not Ferdius and Fib. And now it's that Justin Timberlake movie. That was a movie, wasn't it? I forgot about that movie. Just in Time. It wasn't called Just in Time, which is a shame. It should have been. And it wasn't called Clock Stoppers because that's a different movie. I was thinking the same thing. In Time, or About Time, something like that. I haven't seen that movie. I'm curious if it's actually good. A dash of childhood trauma with a teaspoon of adolescent angst. Deep time creatures sound more horrifying than deep sea creatures. Ooh, okay, I'm sorry, but I need to put deep time creatures as a note. I do like the idea of, okay, so we were talking about food. I think there should be deep time creatures in the tide, and that some of them can be eaten. And I don't want to get into specifics. Maybe mention some of the stranger looking creatures from Earth or whatever, or from linear realms, have origins of coming from the tide. I like this. Deep time creatures. So there were a few things that I wanted to get into with life outside linear time. And so another unedited sentence. And some more, and then this is the last part I have written, and the rest of this is like notes that I need to refine and actually rewrite. So it'd be events on Here for Now, or in, let's say in. Events in Here for Now don't always happen in order or keep to a timetable. You can run into friends with memories that haven't happened to you yet. Find your parents who have never had children, or get sick years after ingesting poison. Uncertainty is the only constant. For that reason, the culture of Here for Now focuses on the present because both the future and the past can change. Is that a good sentence? Is that a good hook? Because I want to focus on like the idea of like chosen family, like blood relatives. Everything can vanish and disappear. So like your current chosen family and making new connections is very important. And then I wanted to have a thing about oral history being their main form of history, is song and lyrics, and that written texts can change as like a past. So if you write like so and so was a general in the war of 1812, and then something happens and that event changes, and then the text would read blanky blank is the general of war of 1812. But if you had a song, the song would remain, and it would just be like a part of history that no longer exists. But it would still exist versus a written text. I like that idea. I don't have a greater thing to flesh it out into, and I also don't know if I have the word space to flesh it out into that, but I like the idea of certain things staying while other things don't. Come on, let me scroll. All right, so Deeb said, makes me think of a Powerpuff Girls episode where the girls need to solve a series of riddles and find the destination is a diner. They get to one and it's the just-in-time diner, and they go, and we're just in time, but it's the wrong place, and they find out the right place was out-of-time diner. Oh, that's funny. And they're out of time when they get there. Oh, that's pretty funny. I have to go work back. I'll be lurking. Bye, Crawdad. Enjoy lurking. Could it be like, good time soup, Mom? What'd you put in it? Oh, some of your great grandparents. That's just Alaska. People live here, and you make friends, and you just say, and we're out. It's too cold. They just make new friends. That's awesome. Uncertainty is the only constant is a good line, but also cliche. I agree. Maybe something like the presence of tomorrow is as certain as the history of the past. Ooh, that is good. It is unfortunately too many words and not as clear as uncertainty is the only constant. I like it. I may change this, especially if I end up doing... I'll allow myself one cliche for brevity's sake. If I throw another one in here, I will probably... I'm with you, and I think I'll change that one. The idea of meeting friends you don't remember seems like it would make really easy to con people. Just go up to someone and greet them like you've known each other their whole lives. How would you know? I think that's true. But it also depends on how gullible you are. Like, just because... And how much they know you. If they're like, oh yeah, we went skydiving together, and you're like, I would never go skydiving, you're gonna be very suspicious of that person. But yes, you could. I mean, not to get like anti-religious, because I'm not, but like that's exactly how people use religion to manipulate people's motivations and choices and stuff. It's like, but you believe this, so you should do this. And was it like prosperity gospel? It's like, well, we both believe in God, and I'm telling you that God said if you give me money, he'll give you more money. And some people go, yeah, okay. And just give their money to mega churches. So yeah, people could totally con other people with, hey, we're friends in a future that hasn't happened to you yet. I'll noodle on it. Let me make it shorter and not cliche. I like these kinds of challenges. Oh, well, True Mandalorian, feel free. I would love to hear your noodle on it. At the party ripped off once. That way they put a Hook character trying the same. See how weird the party is, yeah. That would be really fun. That would be really fun as a GM to introduce a character to the party that with the pitch that they've done this thing together that the party hasn't done yet. And then if they don't believe them, make that thing come true later in the campaign and be like, see, you didn't trust them, but you should have. And then have it be, and then if they do believe them, you could either make it happen in the future, or then you could turn it into a scam and be like, that never happened. That'd be fun to do. Just gotta brew a cuppa first. A cuppa what? Jesse is okay. Ask how you feel about religion now. Like, are you agnostic? That's not railroading if you have I'm fuckery. That's true. It's not. No, I'm fine with you asking that. I wouldn't say I'm agnostic is like you're not sure what's out there, and I feel like not fully that way. I don't know exactly what or who God is. I don't think everything is random or by chance. That just seems too improbable. But like the specifics of it are, who knows? Like I can't answer that one. So like me personally think that there is someone or something larger than us, and that while I am unsure of many things, I do think whatever religion you choose or belief you have, I feel like the point should be to be better to each other and make life better for each other, and that like basically just kindness, and like whatever it is, that's gotta be the best way to go about it. I think religion in a more like structured way has its benefits. I think like there are positive things that come out of religious groups. I know some of the friends of my parents, I am going to get back on topic. I promise I'm not going to do this forever. But like they have, like Christian organizations that, help, there's like a camp they run for disabled kids to help them if they're like feeling really down about, they're disabled, what's, making them disabled. And then they can try and help them like, no, you have a purpose, you have goals, you have life, you have, so much you can do, you have so much opportunity, and help them through that. And that's, I think, a positive thing. The flip side of that is you could also use the same tools to manipulate them into doing things that you want them to do, whether it's, vote a certain way, which absolutely happens within the church and religious communities. And, that can be used just as well for a negative. Also, look, religion can be helpful for, helping, low-level sociopaths have a reason to not be jerks. I guess that's a benefit. Like, if you're like, I don't care what other people think, and then you're like, but like, God will hate me if I am mean to people, if I murder people, if I do whatever, I guess I'll be nicer. Like, I don't think it's a clear issue. So like it exists. It's a part of us. I hate when there's lyrics because that throws me off. But yeah, it's a weird and stuff. So I lean towards, yes, there's something, but like focus on kindness. I don't know if that answered your question. Cuppa is cup of tea. It's my lame cliche British slang. I used to feel mildly cultured. Nice. Just mildly cultured. I do have an Instagram. It would be Rexicon Jesse, same as the name on here. I haven't posted in a long time, but I'll post little pictures of just random stuff sometimes. I also have a Twitter, same thing, Rexicon Jesse. I like the idea of the party getting scammed by an NPC and then later encountering them before that happened. Each they get scammed out of their money by A, then later they meet A for the first time. Yeah. Ooh, that's fun, where the time flip is actually on the NPC not on the party. Ooh, Italian. That's fun. I like that idea. Setting up a paradox where the party can't just murder Hobo the NPC. That's true. Thanks for asking. You're welcome. Okay, thanks. You're also welcome. Ni or Nai. But yeah, non-linear time, super fun, love it. Oh, hey Discordia, how you doing? If you're interested in temporal shenanigans, always, you could ask Jason about the dungeon that he and his players go through on the demi-plane of time. I don't know who Jason is, but I definitely want to ask about this dungeon on the demi-plane of time. I also don't know what the demi-plane of time is. So in a situation like this, when they get scammed, do they have memories of being the person for the first time, even though it hasn't happened yet? I would say, God mode. Ooh, okay, yeah, I definitely got to ask God mode then, because I do know who that is. So Italian, it would depend, because you could also have memories of something that hasn't happened yet. Like, you know, you're going to scam these people in the future. Like, you just see them and you're like, one day, this is what's going to happen. And then that day happens. Or you see them and then you go, oh, it must be time. You don't know the demi-plane of time? We hang out there every week. But is it Dead by Daylight? Is that the demi-plane of time? So I feel like you could play that either way, Deebs, would be my answer. You could have them have the memory of them doing it in the future, and then maybe they're remorseful, or maybe they're like, oh yeah, you were suckers. Or you could have them not know it yet. Could be fun. I feel like either way, good stuff. Or every other week, or every day, or every month. It's kind of hard to quantify. Deeps, that's funny. DVD is just my top 3 fun that replaced League. Oh man. What are the other 2? Or type 3 fun? I don't know if that's supposed to be top 3 or just type 3. Also, good on you for replacing League. Man. That game, not bad. That community. Oh, I don't have words. I only have disgusted noises. Okay, so the idea of chosen family being very important and making new friends. So what was it? Chosen family is very important, even though it can change due to temporal displacement. Neighbors, colleagues, and even blood relatives can have oh, that's the other thing. You could be, neighbors with someone and then their ship leaves, and yeah, you're no longer neighbors with them. Type 1 fun. Fun, you do it. Fun looking back on it. Oh, type 2 fun. Sucks while you do it. Fun looking back, like 48-hour film fest. Yeah. That 48-hour film fest is a lot of it. It's like, this is hard work, and then you look back and be like, but what a good time. Type 3, sucks while you do it, sucks when you look back. Dang. Harsh. Yeah, you can't pull yourself away. Well, yeah, because of that first thing, it is type 3 of fun. So there's some level of enjoyment, as bizarre as it is. I'm gonna have to get more water in a moment. So apologies for the ad you're gonna see in a few minutes, unless you're subscribed, in which case you get to look at art. I spent years in the League Dota Vortex. Been there. I never played Dota, but yeah, spent too much time on League. Again, not a bad game, but abhorrent community. So found family, so neighbors, colleagues, even blood relatives can have their the ships they live on move, or know even a future you've yet to experience. My thought, I was like, well, what should traditions be? That there might be a very important thing about traditions. Might think about oral history. Actually, I already got the nonlinear life part about enjoying the moment. Those games push as many of my I like this buttons as does my don't like this buttons. Faith of Chaos is the only belief. Still spitballing, but let me know. Okay. Belief in chaos is the only religion. Ooh. I wouldn't want to put religion because I do like the idea of like actual space for actual religions. That was another whole subsection of one-page lore I thought about writing that I would like to write in the future, is like a whole thing of religions with one page dedicated to each. Actually, Religion of Chaos would be cool. So I wouldn't want to use the word religion because I want space outside of that. So probably faith and religion wouldn't work for what I'm thinking of. For uncertainty being the only certainty. But I like where your head's at. It's cool wording. Deep sea, what's wrong? Okay, yeah, selling time. Let's see. What other notes do I have? Oh, live off the land mentality. That's a very important thing. We're gonna come down here. We're gonna paste that. And then I'm gonna write about that. Ooh, only the present is truly knowable. That. What's up, phone? What are you doing? You got something to say to me? Is it important? Am I stopping this stream for nothing? I probably am. That was, yes, that's a text message that's just telling me that I can now buy glasses. I don't know how you got my number. I guess because I bought glasses from you. And that's how you got my number. But okay. Right, go. Back, back, back. Be gone. Be gone, phone. Okay. So uncertainty is the only constant. So let's say only the present is truly knowable. What if, since only the present is truly knowable, comma, the culture of here for now focuses on the present? I don't like present twice. Since only the present is truly knowable. Culture focuses on the now because both the future and past can change. Glasses purchasing streams in my chat. Yeah, I'll bring up Zuli and shoot, what's the other one? The other cheap one I bought stuff from. Web window up and we can look for new glasses. Although I have to go to the eye doctor first and like get an eye exam because I probably need new prescriptions. Because my eyes have probably gotten deteriorated some amount since the last time I did that. I like the idea of embracing chaos, not as a destructive or maddening force, but as a grounding idea. Yes, totally agree, True Mandalorian. I think chaos as a grounding idea rather than as a destructive or maddening force, as you said, is a great way to look at chaos. Like, I don't think chaos is inherently bad. I think we put too much stock in stability. And since chaos is the opposite of that, we demonize it. Giving people to argue with, gives people to argue with, I'm a little over that. Nice. Because all other time is chaos. All right, these songs, they're really enjoying having some lyrics. All right, we gotta live off the land mentality. Oh my gosh, I gotta sneeze. I can feel it building in my sinuses. Okay, it's fading. Felt it like, do you ever feel that? Like there's like, it's like a tingling like in the back of your nose, like the back of your sinuses, somewhere in your head that I can't point to because there's, you know, a skull in the way. Is it just me that gets that weird, like, I'm gonna sneeze, like it's building up? All right, so live off the land mentality. So we gotta waste nothing, as in, like, not your waste, as I wrote it there, but waste as a dragonfly banging its head against my window. All right, so, but that's life outside linear time, so this is actually a different thing. Do we need to cover anything else in linear time? Oh, chosen family, right. We have to talk about chosen family. Here for now focuses on the now. Is using now twice. Technically it is, but the place is not going to be called here for now. That's just its placeholder name. It'll be called rigmarole or whatever we decide to call it. Like seems repetitive, but on the other hand illustrates where the name comes from. Yeah, the here for now is not what this place is going to be called. It's a literal placeholder. Till you get the same thing in my nose, and to tell me if I need to move on. My job is dull. This is fun. True Mandalorian, you can continue to throw out suggestions, especially if your job is dull and this is stimulating your brain. I am happy to help stimulate the brain. If you want to think of an actual place name for the name of this flotilla of ships, that would be cool. And also really anything that we're talking about, you are welcome to. Specifically, we're going to talk about chosen family. I'm going to try and write a thing about chosen family. Decifrion? Hello? Please tell me how to say your name. I may even remember. But thanks for following along. I appreciate it. Are you here for RPG stuff? Do you play the tabletops? I hate it when trying to point something out, but there's a skull in the way. I hate it. Just a skull in the way. At my house, that's very often. There are skulls all over this place. That rug has a skull on it. This candle holder has a skull on it. That painting right there, that picture I have on my wall, has a skull on it. It's a Dilophosaurus skull. Still a skull. No skulls on my shoot, what's her name? The Vocaloid with the long blue hair. I have a calendar that I found at Five Below, and I was like, I like the art on this. I want to say Nakamatsume, but that's the cat game. Shoot, I forget that person's name. Apparently there's like a whole collection of them, these characters from that, and I have a calendar of them now. Hatsune Miku! Thank you, Rat Beach. You knew. You knew. Coming in clutch for me. I have other skulls somewhere. Oh, there's 2 dinosaur skulls over there from my Jurassic Park posters, from the Jurassic Park symbol. Tried to play a tabletop once, but the DM never finished the campaign. I don't want to say... I don't want to discourage you, but like... not finishing a campaign is not a uncommon thing. So make sure to have fun in the game whenever you're playing it. But I would highly recommend, you know, if you enjoyed it or if you thought you would enjoy it, like definitely find another group or start your own. It's an absolutely delightful hobby. My favorite game genre in the world is tabletop RPG. And I love video games. But the best game of all is tabletop RPG. Yeah, there's a few, like, scheduling issues are one thing. A lot of times, especially newer GMs will have anxiety over ending something and like finding the right ending, or like get caught up in their head about like, oh my gosh, can I do this justice? Can we do this right? Like, how am I going to end this? Is this going to be fun? I've hit a brick wall. I've got writer's block. Like, there's so many things that can get in the way that, you know, can make it so a campaign doesn't end. And a lot of times there's like self-imposed stress. And I've done this too, where it's like, oh my gosh, I want this to be like a big epic thing. And it's like, oh, I can't end it yet. I still have to have more character growth, or more, this has to happen. Like there's so much that goes into it. And like you can get caught up in those moments. So I've been playing tabletop RPGs for like freaking like 15 years. And there's quite a few campaigns that did not finish. But they were still all the ones that I stayed in. Some of them you play a game and you realize that you're not gelling with people at the table, and so you end up leaving. I've done that plenty of times. But there's campaigns that I've, you know, the ones that I stuck with, even if they didn't finish, I still had fun with. You know, and the best part about RPGs is something that you don't get to do, you can recycle for something else. I've got characters that I made for games that didn't finish, and now I have a fleshed out character in my head. Like, I have a campaign that I only got to do like 2 sessions of, but I have a lizard folk character with a Russian accent named Ouroboros, who's like dragon-like. So like, that's funny, and now I have a character for them. And like some ideas of how they play and stuff. And like, sure, I'm not gonna be able to do that campaign again, but like if I ever need that character, there we go. True Mandalorian says, you have my sympathy. Don't think I've ever finished a campaign, only one-offs. Which are your local tabletop store. You can usually find people wanting to do one-shots. Very true. That is helpful. We did enjoy Adventure is Nigh. Maybe want to start my own campaign with my friends. Yeah! Do it. Do it. I also make an RPG system that is currently free if you would like a very easy to learn role-playing focused system. Plug lexicon. All right, I'm done. So let's talk about families. Let's talk about chosen families. Actually, life outside linear time. Do we need to do anything else? Oral history. I think this should go in this section. Written records. Including history, texts, and family lineage can change. Can change. I don't want to say over time. That seems redundant. Can alter as events in the past and future change. However, oral history through song and lyrics always remain. Thus, songs are the primary. Songs are the primary. I don't know. Written records, including history, texts, and family lineage, can alter as events in the past and future change. However, oral history through song and lyrics always remain. I feel like that sentence just makes more questions than it answers. But I really like I'm gonna have to rewrite that, but I really like the idea of like having a song that was about like a historical event, and then that historical event no longer happens, but like the song remains, and you have this like moving, deep, intricate song about something that never happened, or something that no longer happened. And so you have, I mean, you basically have a piece of fiction, kind of, but it's not really fiction. I like that weird paradox. I don't know if I can make that work though, in a way that doesn't just convolute this more than it needs to be. Okay, I got one idea so far for the flotilla name. Chaos spanning. Don't know why I'm caught on chaos right now. Just am. I mean, it's a very efficient and appropriate word for this setting. Chaos collectible. Chaotic collectible. Like Chaos Rain. Chaotix. Let's call it Knuckles Chaotix. That should be the name of the place. chaotic collectible. I like the Amatrathian assemblage. Okay, I really like the word assemblage because that puts together, the word assemblage does give you the idea of like something that's put together, and the thing is constantly being rebuilt and changed. So I think assemblage is a pretty cool word. Not necessarily the exact right word, but I do like it. I don't know about I can't even say that word. Amaranthin. Excuse me, Amaranthin. Okay. If Chaos Sphere. Amaranthine. Oh, Amaranthine. Okay, Amaranthine. Eternal assemblage. I would say less on the, probably less on the like eternal. I don't think eternal works because as I'm wrong. I think this is a personal association, but like eternity or eternal still has a level of oh, ethereal. Oh, well, I'm dumb. Never mind then. Ignore everything I was about to say. Ethereal assemblage. Ooh. Is it ethereal though? What's the definition of ethereal? Let me spell dictionary right. Or ethereal. Light, airy, tenuous, extremely delicate or refined, heavenly or celestial, relating the upper regions of space, chemistry pertaining to remembering ether. Now I'm thinking of the Society for Creative Acronyms. Oh, SCA? Yeah, SCA. Anachronist. Oh man, is that a real word? Like it looks like anarchist, kind of. Anachronistic assemblage. Is that a anarchy kind of thing? Is that a real word? Yes, anachronistic. Wait.
Anachronistic.
Oh, I'm dumb. Anachronism. I can't read, I'm sorry. I just embarrassed myself in front of everybody. Anachronistic assemblage. Oh gosh, that is a fitting word though. I almost feel like it's too on the nose. Like it's too spot on. It is literally something or someone that is not in its correct historical or chronological time. I feel like it's too exact. I want a level of mystery, level of uncertainty. But like freaking A+ for pulling a word that's like that exact for this bizarre scenario. You can also make up a word out of a root word concepts like You can wrap each. I feel like I'm very bad at that. But I agree. That's a fun thing to do for people who are better at it than me. I just make up entire words because I'm like, every time I try and pull like a root word or something like that, I feel like I make it a bad word. Not bad like, oops, I accidentally spelled shit or something like that, but just bad like, oh, this doesn't sound good. The important root is chrono in that one. Yeah. Anachronistic takes a self-deprecating bow. Throw the anarchy in there, even though it wasn't there originally. But then people might be like, actually. That is how you spell actually. You spelled it wrong instead of being like, hats off to you, clever, gentle person. That is true. Some people would just be real, like, snippy and like very rude about spelling. Like, actually, Beatles should be Beetles, like the bug or whatever. I don't know who's seen That Thing You Do. I know some people have. I think Deeps has. It just makes me think of the Wonders in that movie where their name is the Oneders, which I'm sure was a reference to the Beatles as a joke. And probably the Monkeys. I know that was spelled wrong too, right? It's like 2 E's. I'm sure there are other bands that spell their name wrong. Well, like Flight of the Conchords. You doing that thing you do, breaking my heart into a million pieces like you always do. I haven't seen that movie since I was a child, a literal child. I wonder if it's good. I remember liking it, but I liked a lot of dumb things when I was a kid. Okay, well, other people think it's good, so that's cool. I have not seen, but I have seen lots of people do a Wonderland theme for their kid's first birthday party, and like, same idea. Oh. Wonderland. Oh, that's funny. It's still good. It hits differently as an adult than as a kid, which in my opinion makes it a mark of a classic. It's a good measurement of it being measuring a classic, yeah. I wonder how it would hit as an adult now. Now I want to watch that movie. Wonder if I can get it somewhere without paying beyond my normal streaming service costs. Oh yeah, this song. Okay, so this I want to completely rewrite. So I'm going to highlight that. Actually gonna, I feel like this was, just gonna keep both those. So life outside linear time. I think we can still do something about chosen family in here. Neighbors, colleagues, even blood relatives. Neighbors, colleagues, even blood relatives. I want to say can move, can have their home moved, can have the ship they live on move, and thus be far away from you, and also slip into a timeline where you haven't met yet or whatever. Time shenanigans. And I don't know how to put that. May have, maybe Mav. The ship they live on. That's a way too long a sentence. To another. To another part of the flotilla. Abruptly. Thanks for the autocorrect word. To another part of the flotilla, or to merge. The timeline where now where they don't know you yet. I don't. That's like second person. I don't think the rest of this is written in second person, so that would feel weird. But if I don't put that in second person, I'm gonna have to use way more words. Are they? Don't have the same relations. I don't know. Callie says proposal. Residents of Here for Now keep records through an oral tradition of songs and stories. Past, future, and even written histories may change, but the lyrics remain. Records of a history that no longer was. Well, I'm gonna retire. I'm never gonna write something that perfect. Bye, everybody. I meant to do a fun spin, like a chair spin, when I wanted to be like, bye everybody, and just be like, well. It didn't spin that much. That's a really good sentence. Seriously, Italian, that's a good sentence. Let me wholesale steal that from you. Like Charlie brought to the Christmas tree. Oh no, I killed it. Okay, so let's say residents of Here for Now keep records through oral traditions. Through an oral tradition of songs. I'm gonna say just of songs. Past, future, and even written histories may change, but the lyrics remain. Records of a history that no longer was. Yes, that is spot on. Thanks. I end up writing a lot for my job, although it's rarely about things this fun. Well, let me just delete this whole section because now I don't need it. So neighbors, colleagues, even blood relatives may have the ship they live on I don't need may twice. May have the ship they live on abruptly move to another part of the flotilla or merge with the timeline. They may also merge with a timeline where they don't have the same relations. I think that works better as 2 sentences rather than trying to merge them. Thus, say citizens. Citizens? I don't like citizens. We just used residents. Let's just use folks. Thus, folks. It's a good term for people. It's a short word too, 5 letters. It's got a skinny L in it. For our purposes, it works really well. Denizens? Oh, that's a good one too. It's weird sometimes because my job can be like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm like, have you heard of a thesaurus? Shh. Mandalorian, don't give away our secrets. Don't give away the secrets of the thesaurus. That's a hard sentence to say. The secrets of the thesaurus. Also, I think you missed my previous message, Rexcon Jesse, but I highly recommend Word Hippo if you're ever searching for synonyms. I usually just use thesaurus.com. I did not see your thing on Word Hippo, so you are correct. I did miss that. I don't know what Word Hippo is. Some of my coworkers tease me because I start lots of emails addressed to multiple people with "Hey, folks." Why would they tease you? That's such a good word. It's such a just hello, fellow humans, but less words. Also, when robots gain sentience and become like human equivalents, boom, they become folks. They're just in it now. So the word continues, where if you were like, hello, fellow humans, all of a sudden it's like, well, are you not including sentient robots? What about AI? It's like, shoot, gotta change it. Folks, nope, they just get brought in. You're a folk, you're in here now. Come on in. Good natured teasing. All right, that's good. I don't know if anybody listens to the podcast Risk. It's a storytelling podcast, kind of like The Moth, but can get riskier, if you will, because the premise is stories people never thought they would tell out loud. And the guy who hosts that show always starts with "Hey, folks." And so you writing that, I only hear that in his voice. Start email with "Good morning, you rat bastards." That'd be great. I would love to get an email that opens with that. It's a website which breaks down synonyms by shades of meaning. For example, chaotic has sections of synonyms grouped by in the state of complete confusion or disorder, full of life, spirit, energy, or movement, etc. Oh my gosh, hang on. Let me bring this up, and then I'm going to bring it up over here, just in case it's actually porn or something, or I spell it wrong. Okay, I spelled it right. So let's do chaos, for example. So noun, or state of order or disorder, utter confusion. Unstable time period, usually marked intense difficulty or danger. Oh, this is nice. Oh my gosh, I like this. Ooh. Don't share this with anybody. As writers, we have to keep this a secret to us. Can't just let everybody know. Good thing this is not being recorded on the internet. Thought of a different name. Anchors in anachronism. Anchor. I'm not even. I'm done. I'm done trying to say that word. What if it was like a single word? Like how anchorage is a word, like a place, something that ties those words together. As I guess sort of it could be like a portmanteau, or it could just be like a word that sounds like that sounds super useful, because I do generally get frustrated with thesaurus.com because it's like that's not the nuance I was looking for. Yeah. Holy crap, it's been busy at work. Two of my coworkers are out sick, and it feels like the other two aren't doing anything. Oh, I'm sorry, Deeps. That's rough. I hope gets better. I hope that the knowledge of wordhippo.com, is it .com? Yes, wordhippo.com makes your existence better. And your day, especially today, better. Folks rely on a chosen family as fluid and ever-changing as their environment? No, not environment. As thus, folks rely on a chosen family as fluid and ever-changing. That'd be hyphenated, ever-changing. Ever change. First of all, I gotta put the right doggone word in. Is it one word? This can't be one word. Hang on. How do you spell this? Let's find out. Ever changing. Is it one word? This says it's one word. What if I just put it into DuckDuckGo? Ever changing. This is giving to me as one word, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it is supposed to be hyphenated. Even though it's accepting it as a single word. Can it be a single word? I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it is supposed to be hyphenated, even though it's accepting it, which is bizarre, but okay. I struggle with hyphenated words. I struggle with all things that have to do with spelling and language. Why I write is a flaw, not a good thing. I'm dyslexic. I'm dysgraphic. I have like reading problems. I should not be writing. It is just a deep soulful need to tell stories that makes me write. This is not what I would choose to do, given all the hurdles I have. But I have to. So like language is a struggling, like a constant struggle for me. I did learn that hyphenating, I struggle with it super hard, and then I learned that you can like 90% of the time I can figure out if a word should be hyphenated or not by using the ass rule, where you would say like that's a oh shoot, that's a red ass car. So like the hyphen, it's not an ass car. The car is very red. So the hyphen would be between ass and car. Or red ass, sorry. Red and ass. Not ass and car. Red ass. Has to be a hyphen there. So like that, and because that's constant, the problem with hyphenation is that it changes literally every time, like ever changing, or like another hyphenated word, where my brain doesn't compute that there's a common thread because it changes every time. Spider-Man, yeah. So like so because it changes every time, I can't make the like neural connections to understand why that hyphen is there. But when I understood the ass rule, yeah, long ass party, Deebs, versus a long ass party. A long ass party is a long party. A long ass party is a party that is either very long and it's a terrible party, or it is very long and there are many butts, and that's the theme. But yeah, like having that constant thing let me start to understand it, and then when I like read a sentence and I'm like, does this need a hyphen? And I still have to like manually think about every word in that way. It does not click in my head. That helped me a lot. Because I decided to hyphenate Spider-Man, but not Batman. It's true. Iron Man or Iron Man? Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know how they... I think it's... I don't know. I don't know the proper spelling of Iron Man. I don't think it's hyphenated. It's because Peter Parker tends to be Spider-Man. Tony pretends to be Spider-Man. Tony Stark pretends to be Iron Man, but Bruce Wayne is Batman. Ooh. That's true, because that's also Superman, where Kal-El pretends to be Clark Kent, but is Superman. But I could be wrong. I thought it was Spider-Man for a long time. I think I've seen it spelled both ways. I don't know. It's Spider-Man hyphen Batman 1 word and Iron Man 2 words, because forget expectations and consistency in English. Who cares? Let's just do whatever we want. You could do whatever you want with language because it's alive and mutable. That's true, but then people will get mad at you and be like, you can't do that. English as a language is stupid. To be fair, if you learn another language, they are also stupid. Like, all the weird things in English are not exclusive to English. And then like another language won't have this one weird quirk of English, but it'll have another quirk. Because people are messy. Like, we just don't do things consistently. We are a lot of chaos that pretends to be a lot of order. The correct spelling is Spider-Man with a hyphen, is hyphenated, but there really isn't a reason for it. It's literally just how the writers decided to write the name. All languages are rules we made for sound to help us convey ideas more effectively than pointing and grunting. That's very true. And since we made it up, they don't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah. We tried so hard to make them make sense. We've tried like thousands of times to make a language that makes sense. And you know, this is the current languages we have are the best we've got. Good news, potato is still fluffy. Well, that's good. Except in French, they have the Académie Française to police the evolution of language. Oh, that's right. They do have like a legitimate, like language board. I think I've heard that. Would pat patat. Oh no, currently boiling potatoes. I think we did pretty damn good, all things considered, but it's still a mess. Oh, it is absolutely still a mess. But like, we did create thousands of languages. Like, there are thousands of different ways to make specific sounds to convey complex, multi-layered meanings to other people. That's wild. Like, we didn't do this one time and then we're like, that's good enough. Like, we have done so many different languages as a species. It's wild. So yeah, it's impressive. It's just not the most well done, but still pretty well done. Also, have I made a universal language to try and solve the problem? No, so I feel like I can't complain that hard. And people can't be bothered to learn an artificial language. Well, like C++ or like a universal, like phonetic language. It's exactly like how some new person comes into a project and says, I can do better. And then another new person comes in and says, I can do better, and so on and so forth. Yes, into infinity. That's exactly what happens. The concept of language is possibly humanity's greatest achievement, and it breaks my heart when people don't give a shit about it. Yeah, like, it's outstanding that we have language. It's beautiful and mind-blowing and like just it's an amazing achievement. And again, we've done it thousands of times. And we didn't like perfectly replicate it those thousands of times. There's so many different ways to do it, and there's like languages that use different sounds. Like, there are sounds, like English doesn't really have a rolled R. That's not, I mean, yeah, you can go brr and roll an R, but that's not part of the language, versus other languages that have that. Like, there are specific sounds that we use in different languages that don't exist in other ones. That's so cool. It's so neat. It's fascinating. It's so cool. I guess it's 2 o'clock, so I should probably stop now. So they're probably boiling potatoes. If you don't know, it's a dog named Potato. I believe Italian's dog's name is Potato. Separate from the, it's not a potato, it's a root starch. Oh no, I haven't come up with a ship name yet. Oh no, it's the Potato. Yeah, the name of the whole flotilla. The whole here for now. One ship is definitely called a rigmarole in the thousands of ships. I had a really good potato for lunch. Oh, she's not actually named Potato. Oh, well, what's the dog's name? I thought dog's name was legitimately Potato. She's the same shape, color, and energy level as a potato. The same energy level as a potato. That's funny. There's her name is Ren. Aw. There's a comedian, Josh Gondelman, who I think is really funny. And he has a pug. And he tells jokes about his pug. And one of the jokes is that this pug has the top speed of spilled yogurt. And I thought that was a hilarious joke. Jamate's online and he's alive. Oh my gosh. Oh, he's like actually on Twitch. Oh, neat. Well, now I know who I'm raiding. Obviously have to raid Jamate. Cool. Well, thanks everybody. Let me hit save on this. Mandalorian, I am expecting a list of 50 possible names with an alternative for each name by the end of the day, by the end of work day. That's your job. I'm just kidding. I'm not expecting that. I mean, if you do want to, I'm on Discord. You can at me in the RPG Help Desk channel and be like, I thought of this name. You got it. That's an absurd amount of names. My favorite fun fact about Mitchell's versus the Machine is that they got Doug the Pug to record all the noises for the family dog. Aww. I don't know who Doug the Pug is, but I'm assuming it's a pug, and that's adorable. You've given me more direction than my own job. Well, I guess I just need to be some sort of manager, some sort of managerial position. So someone hire me to coordinate people to write stuff. Because then I'll have steady work, and that would be very nice. I would love a paycheck. Although I did get a hype train from you all yesterday on Twitch, so like that was almost like getting a paycheck for one day. Yes. Oh, Jemate showing off stuff. All right, I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody, and I'm gonna send this over to Jemate. Thank you everybody for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. I already forgot how to say your name. If you told me, I think you did tell me, and I already forgot. Sci-fi. Thanks for following along. Electable Louise, #1 electable person here. Thank you for resubscribing. You're welcome, Owen. You're welcome, True Mandalorian. You're welcome, Deebs. You're welcome, Honey Money. Thank you all. It's good times. Tomorrow, apparently, we are playing. Blight and I are playing Mount Your Friends. Because he bought a copy of that and sent it to me. So that's what we're playing tomorrow. That game looked really fun, so I'm excited to play it. It's gonna be real stupid, and I'm very excited. All right, hit start raid. So that's what we're doing tomorrow night. It's gonna be a good old time. I think, how many players can Mount Your Friends be? How many players can play at once? Does it tell me? You could buy it in a 4-pack, so it must be up to at least 4. Depends on your imagination. That's a good point. Cool. All right, well, if you have that game and you want to play with us tomorrow, you probably can. So yay. All right, we're gonna do this raid. Thanks everybody. Y'all are the best. I hope to see you tomorrow, but if not, I hope you really enjoy whatever it is you're doing. Bye.